In this video, we're going to show you how to create the Life Begins When the Season Starts here. And it's a pretty straightforward project, even for a CorelDRAW beginner, although there are several steps involved. And we do have some functionality here in EasyStone that will simplify the process for you. So if you have EasyStone, you can take advantage of that. If you don't have EasyStone, we'll show you how to do it just using CorelDRAW. And if you don't have EasyStone and you've never tried the demo, you might as well download it and give it a go. But let's go ahead and grab our text tool here in CorelDRAW. I should point out that this toolbar is part of our custom workspace for CorelDRAW X5 and X6. It's a free download on the website there under freebies, and it's super simple to install. Just download our workspace file, right click, choose customize workspace and install or import here, and browse to the file that you downloaded and just kind of follow the on-screen prompts as it goes through, and then you can install the workspace quite simply. So anywhere over here next to your toolbars in the blank area, just right click, customize workspace and import, and that will allow you to import that downloaded workspace file. And that will install all of the most common tools that you're going to use, whether you're doing your vinyl designs or you're doing rhinestone designs. All those most common tools will be right here for you. And of course, this last tool will allow you to reset our EasyStone macro or go ahead and fire it up. So let's go ahead and show you how this is done. We'll grab our text tool, type out the word life. Now for life, we used a font called Impact, and if you don't have it, you can search for it there on Google and find it and get it, because it's a very commonly used font, and it for lots of different applications. Now we're going to go and grab our text tool again, and we're going to type in the rest of our text, which is begins when the next line season starts. And for this, what we need to do is we need to grab our pick tool, grab our text here, change it to center justification. We'll make it a little bit bigger, like such. Change the font, which I want to use the font called College. If you go to dafont.com and search for college fonts, academic fonts, varsity fonts, you'll find all kinds of college sport type fonts. Download them all. Because you can never have too many fonts. So here is our begins when the season starts text. I do want to just kind of point something out to you. If we grab our shape tool here, we can pull this control handle, and that will increase the spacing between letters, which can be quite helpful depending on what type of design you're working with. Or this one will change the line spacing. So if you want it a little bit closer, this particular font has a little bit more line spacing than I like, so we can kind of tuck it up under there a little bit. So I just wanted to point that out to you. All right, so now the complicated part, and that is making the laces here. Now if you look at my laces, you can see they're all nice rounded edges. All right, but what we're going to do is show you how to make the laces. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our 2-point line tool and drag out a straight line. I'm holding my shift key to create a perfectly straight line. Then I'm going to switch to my shape tool, right click on my line as I hover over it. Can you see right there at the icon, right there at that arrow, when I move my mouse, you get kind of like a little marquee, and then I move it up a little bit more and it turns to squiggly. Well, when it turns to squiggly, right click and choose to curve, and just pull that curve straight down and give it a little bit of curve, however much curve you want for your baseball laces. Now to actually create your baseball laces, we're just going to grab our 2-point line tool, drag a line at an angle, whatever angle you like. Then we're going to switch to our pick tool, and we're going to take the center control handle and flip it, hold your control key, and that will mirror it perfectly proportional. Right click to make a duplicate. Now what I want to do is add a thickness to this line. So we just select it, come up here to our outline pen dialog box, open it up, and enter in a value. So I'm going to say 20 points. And you can see we have a thickness. Now we have a bit of a situation because we have this little notch. Okay? So in EasyStone, we have a function on the editing tab called Join Paths that will join those two paths into one, and that takes care of the notch. Now if you don't have Easy Stone, it can be done in CorelDRAW just as simply by coming up here to the window menu, coming to Dockers, coming down to Join Curves, and hitting the Apply button. So a little bit more work, but certainly it has the same impact. Alright, so now the next thing that we have to understand is we have our laces now. If we go into wireframe mode, you can see that we just have a path. And that path has a property, an outline property applied to it, and that's what visually gives us our thickness. But because that outline has not been converted, we still have a path. So that's what this function does right here. Convert outline to object. And as soon as we do that, now you can see we get our actual thickness that we want to work with. Now what I did is I took this and I just rounded these corners off. That's how I got the rounded version of it. Now you don't have to go through and do this, but I just came in here, double clicked along the path, delete that node by double clicking on it, and then you can go ahead and change this to a curve. So we can come in here and right click to curve, you see that there? And we can come in here and just give it a little bit of curve. So I add a node, double click, delete this, and you can see that's already a curve because I already had changed this to a curve. So now I can click on that node and we get these control handles where I can fine tune how much I want that curved. Again, this is not really a necessary step, just an extra step that I took because I wanted them to be rounded. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I also want to point out too that we can select these nodes, and this is actually a little bit easier to select. Rather than hover over the line and right click to curve, if you just select the nodes and come up here, and there's an option right here, convert to curve. And so it will convert these lines to curve. And that actually is a little easier than right clicking and choosing it, I think. Alright, so now we're up to this point here. We're still a little ways away from making our laces here. Let's go ahead and change it to red. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to make a copy. And now we have the copy, and we're going to grab our blend tool and we're going to click and drag right over to here, and it'll automatically create a blend of 20. That is the default when you're using that. Now we're going to show you a function here in Easy Stone that saves us a few steps. If we select our blend and our line that we want to apply the blend to, we can right click here on EP, and that will bring up Vinyl Essentials. And Vinyl Essentials has a function in here called Apply Blend, where we can apply that blend to our path automatically that way. Okay. Now you can see here that these are not pointing in the right direction, so we are going to rotate them so they are in the right direction. Now we don't need so many, right? Because we have 20, so we'll select that blend group and we'll lower the number of blends we have. So maybe we want that many. And that looks pretty good. Now you'll notice this one here, the line extends beyond, and this one here, the line doesn't go far enough. So to fine tune that, just click on the end, click on it again, and see this? We need to go the opposite direction of what you think. Alright, so in order to bring it closer, we need to pull this farther away. And you see how that works? So now we need to get the corner of this. It's always the opposite of what you think. So click on it once, click on it twice, that gives our rotation handle, and so we want to pull it out, so we need to push this in. I know it seems backwards, but that's just the way it works. So we'll just pull this down just a little bit so that tip is right there along that line. Okay? Alright, so now that we have that taken care of, we can select our blend and right click and break blend group apart, and then we need to apply a thickness to this line using our outline pen dialog box here. So let's do 20 just like we did with our laces, and just like before, convert outline to object. Because if we go into wireframe mode has no thickness, and now it does. So we can select all of that, weld it all together, and what you see is exactly what your cutter's going to cut. So let's go back over here to Enhance mode, change it to red, and maybe we'll make it just a pinch smaller, I think, and position it here however you want to over your text. We'll go ahead and mirror it. And we can pull this down, or we could put this, you could push this up, but I think we'll pull it down a little bit. And maybe what I'll do is I'll rotate my path a little bit here. Something like that. Do something like that, and I'll pull this down a little bit so it's not interfering. Let's go ahead and resize our whole design. So right now it's 11 inches. We'll make it 9. We will change the color. Nice light gray. Add a weed box. I always make a duplicate. And then right click on MU. And that actually we're going to convert our text to curves. And then right click on MU. And that'll go ahead and add our watermark and our dimension to our design. And then we'll just select these two things, come over to the Specialty tab, and fill those with glitter. And I guess we'll go ahead and fill the red laces with glitter too. There we go. And you can see there is our finished mock-up, and then the actual design file as well. So now you can experiment a little bit, and you could type out the word baseball or softball, or you could do a football one, kind of in a similar fashion. All kinds of different things now that you kind of understand the basic process. And it only took us about 10 minutes. So, and if I wasn't trying to explain it all and give you all the different options, it wouldn't have taken that long. So these types of designs you can knock out really easily with the tools here in CorelDRAW, and of course some of the specialized functions there in EasyStone as well. But this was mostly a CorelDRAW project. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and thanks for watching.